Call the Thursday, June 13th City Commission meeting to order. I'm going to change one item on here. We're going to sing happy birthday to Becky Kaiser. It's her birthday today. So, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Becky. Happy birthday to you. Yeah. Thank you, Becky, for being here. Next item on the agenda would be the minutes at May 23rd, 2024 meeting. Any changes?
I have none.
They spelled your name right this time, so that's good.
Good, I'm glad I didn't know that. Any citizen comments? Doug? Citizens? No? Yeah. There's no. Yeah, I know, you're always in trouble. Me too, I'm right there. Next item on the agenda would be the UTV City Ordinance Update. Here we go.
Good afternoon, Jared Kuckelman, Management Analyst. So in 2021, the city passed an ordinance that allowed UTVs to be driven on city streets. This ordinance required the registration of the UTV, inspection, and an annual fee of $100. Recently, just past March or earlier in 2024, the city permitted golf carts to be driven on city streets. However, this ordinance did not require any registration or fees as part of it. So as to help kind of bring things in alignment, the commission has requested that the UTV ordinance be amended to help kind of bring the UTV and golf cart ordinances to be similar. And the police department has indicated they support this change. So with the help of the city attorney's office, an amended UTV ordinance has been prepared. This ordinance will repeal the existing registration, licensing, inspection, and fee requirements for UTVs. However, it will not remove any of the required safety equipment or insurance requirements for UTVs.
Is that a UTV or a dune buggy?
I guess it must count as a UTV. I don't know. I don't think I've ever ridden in a UTV in my life, so I couldn't tell you.
Looks like fun.
What they even look like, but drivers will still be required to follow all the rules of the road when driving UTVs on streets, just like any other vehicle. So there is a slight financial consideration with this change. The police department registers on average about 27 UTVs a year. And this results in collecting about $2,245 in registration fees. If the ordinance is repealed, the city would no longer be collecting those registration fees. But Chief Scheibler has indicated that the amount of time that staff spends and setting up the appointments for inspections, registering them, giving them the license, and keeping track of all of that does kind of result in this money not really contributing to anything. So it's not any great concern that this money would be a loss. So these would be the options before you today. You can approve the ordinance as written, provide other direction to city staff, or just take no action and leave the regulations as they are. This is the action requested.
I move to approve ordinance number 4052 that repeals existing registration, licensing, inspection, and fee requirements for UTVs.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ritter, second by Commissioner Cunningham. Any questions? If this is passed, when will it go into effect?
Probably upon publishing, depending on the wording in the ordinance, but otherwise immediately.
I just had
depending on the way the ordinance reads, which I'm not positive, it either could say upon pass approval or upon publishing, which.
So within the next few weeks.
Yeah, if it'll probably be published tomorrow or Monday at the latest. So I'm looking at Kim for when it's published.
Yeah.
So.
On publication of the city has a website.
Publication. Okay.
And I'm pretty sure she'll publish it tomorrow.
So what does that do for those who've just re-licensed?
They can drive it regardless.
I mean, if they're just
out.
if they did it last week, it's just that they're okay.
Jeff was saving, he wasn't going to bring his UTV in until after this passed, so.
Oh, okay.
And it was due last month, so he was thinking about it, but
And
he
I will
decided
say,
to hold off.
interestingly enough, we've had a couple people in the office, I think this past week, who had some questions related to UTVs, and I told them to speak with the police department, because one of them had a question that they thought they might need state licensing, so I was like, I don't know anything about that, so I directed that to the police department, but I told them we will be removing this requirement probably in theory this week. So people should be hopefully aware that this is happening.
That's why, just give it to chief.
Yeah.
That's good.
Blame somebody else, I would. You know, one thing that Chief Chavez said last week, though, since we've had UTVs on the streets, we've had little to no issues and stuff. So it's a good thing. Hopefully, we can keep it that way. So.
And the reality is, I mean, I've talked to a lot of people, and they've said they hardly ever see any
Yeah.
on the street anyway, so it's not a big issue.
I have a friend of mine. He says he goes by the four-way stop by Dairy Queen. He said he's amazed by when he's there, like people just wait for him to go, and he very much appreciated that they're just very like, oh, go ahead, you know, we'll wait for you. So, and he said, I mean, he's had no issues on the streets, and he drives it quite a bit. So, okay, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, passes 5-0. Thanks, sir. Next item on the agenda: pickups for the Public Works and Water Resources Departments. Award a bid.
Good afternoon, Jeff Crispin, Director of Water Resources. The 2024 budget includes funding for the purchase of 2 pickup trucks, 2 for the Department of Water Resources, 2 for the Public Works Department. These pickups are nearing the end of their useful life and are scheduled for replacement in 2024. They were all bid out using state of Kansas contract pricing, and all 4 would be funded out of new equipment and reserve. Last week I shared this slide, the same slide as last week. If you look on the left side, state bid for the water resources trucks was $116,185. Directly below that, Lewis Ford's bid for the same 2 trucks was $113,395. Public Works on the right side, the bid from the state contract was $116,774, and from the local Lewis Ford was $114,345.40. Couple new slides this week, as we discussed last week. This is a slide basically that shows historical purchase prices of some pickups for City of Hayes. These are actual pickups that we purchased. So if you look on the far left side, 2010 truck for $20,000, and you go all the way up to 2022. As you can see, the trend line basically is going up. 2022 is about $47,000, $47,000. So those are actual pickup prices.
Wow.
I also had staff reach out to our contact at Lewis Ford, and I said, I would like prices for a base Ford F-250, 3/4 ton, 4-wheel drive pickup. Tell me as many years back as you can go. So they went to 2021. So the original price is on the top. Directly below that is discount value. That is our government discount. Also, Lewis Ford discount was added in there, so that's a combined. And so as the Public Works Director came up and mentioned last week, we've lost our government buying power, so that discount is kind of going away. So it went from $13,520 in 2021 down to a combined total discount of $6,140. So the last line, the purchase price, you can see from 2021 to 2024, the exact same vehicle has went up about $11,000 in total price as what we would get for price.
But it really isn't on total price, because you're putting the discount value. The total price is $48,900 to $52,400,
Right.
right?
Right. Yes.
Our purchasing power.
Our purchasing
Yeah.
power.
Right.
That's correct, Commissioner. Thank you.
Makes me feel better about the vehicles that they only went up $3,000 in that time and
Yeah.
not $11,000.
$11,000.
Right.
What was the
Right.
cause and decrease in the discount?
It's just basically the market, how the market went with inflation and during COVID and the availability of pickups.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to add to that?
Supply and demand.
Jeff, thanks for adding those slides. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So funding, when we budgeted $196,000 for all 4 pickups. The low bid is $227,740.40 for all 4. As we know, $31,740.40 over the budgeted amount. I mentioned this last week, but I added it to the slide. We would expect delivery from Lewis, if you do approve today, of 4 to 8 months. They feel confident that they can get those pickups to us. So your 3 options today are these: award the bid to Lewis Ford, reject all bids, or direct us to otherwise or to another option. And this would be the action I request, and I would stand for any additional questions.
I move we award the bids for the purchase of 4 pickups from Lewis Ford of Hayes in the amount of $227,740.40 to be funded out of the new equipment reserve.
Second?
Motion by Commissioner Jacobs, second by Commissioner Barrick. Any other comments? It's nice that we are buying local as much as we can.
Absolutely.
I appreciate the better understanding of why it went over budget and stuff. But
And as was mentioned last week, we are having a lot of internal discussions
yeah,
as a city staff on the future.
appreciate that. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Passes 5-0. Thank you, Jeff. Next item on the agenda, 2024 manhole rehabilitation award bid.
Again, Jeff Crispin, Director of Water Resources. Our department initiated a manhole rehab program in 2018. Our goal was to lengthen the lifespan of manholes that need repair. This is our 7th consecutive year of doing this program. We only received 1 bid for the 2024 program to rehab 102 manholes. In the past, we hadn't bid out as many this year, decided to bid them out a little bit more so we wouldn't have to add any more back in. Bid documents were sent directly to 11 contractors that we've sent these to before. Today, I'm seeking your authority to spend up to the budgeted amount of $150,000. This year's project is to perform rehab on 2 main areas in the city, areas generally west of Vine and south of 27th Street. These areas are outlined in red on this visual in front of you. There's also 5 other manholes that were kind of missed choosing in last project, so we want to go back and get those. All manholes to the south and west of this area, closer down to campus and down to 3rd, 4th Street, down by Larks Park, all of those manholes have already been completed with previous projects. This is a closer visual of the manholes that were selected for rehab. It was included in your packets. There's 102 manholes in this area that we would like to rehab. They were all colored in red. Since 2018, we've done 364 manholes, and this comes out to an average of about 61 per year. This average keeps us ahead of our goal to rehab manholes every 50 to 60 years. So the problem, this is a picture of a previous manhole that has been worked on. They're a critical part of our wastewater collection system. They provide us access and contractor access to our sewer system. Sewer inspection video program that began in 2013 helps us to kind of strategically identify key manholes for rehab. And as I mentioned last week, our first year of the project, we went after manholes all over town that were ones that we felt were kind of the big things that we needed to deal with. Second year was kind of similar, but now we're going to the oldest in our system and working our way to our newest. The program, along with staff inspections, has allowed with the creation of priority list of repairs. They need rehab for for various reasons: hydrogen sulfide, loose material, debris, oil, grease, loss of mortar and brick in the manholes, concrete failure, physical damage, inflow and infiltration, groundwater getting in, or rainwater basically, or erosion of manholes. Why are they important? They allow access to the system for cleaning and maintenance. Failure of them can block a line and cause overflow. We don't have the equipment to deal with deep failures, and people and vehicles can be harmed in the case of a collapse. So this is what the project addresses basically is the concrete or the brick structure within the manhole, and then the top, which would be the iron ring and lid if necessary. We bid that out as a separate bid item, and they give prices for those. The contractor works with our city staff to determine the best course of action of each location. Some manholes only require the application of MS2A, and I'll explain that product a little bit more detail in a second. Others require the additional application of a geopolymer over the top of it in a higher corrosive environment. This is the before picture. I kind of mentioned it earlier, but before photo of one that needs rehab: concrete degraded on the sides of the manhole and it falls into the bottom. Concrete into the bottom can cause the manhole to cause sewer to overflow and cause backups. This is that same manhole after. And what that does is they remove all the loose material and they reline it with a 1-inch thick of fiber reinforced cement like material. It's called MS2A, and that happens to all 102 manholes. They restore the smooth surface and any missing brick or similar voids, and that helps stop any leakage. Additional treatment is applied to manholes about 25% of the time. And so with this project, the geopolymer material would be applied to approximately 40 of the 102 manholes. Sewer would remain in service. Project would be inspected in-house for our department. A standard warranty will cover workmanship and materials for a period of 3 years. Thank you, Commissioner Cunningham, for pointing that out last week. Manhole rehab is generally considered to have a 50 to 60-year lifespan for the right material is applied. We should expect to get 50 to 60 more years out of the manholes that we have done and that we would do moving forward. Industry standard dollars is it costs about $1,000 to $3,000 to do one manhole. For just doing MS2A on all 102, that's $1,329.22 for the manholes. If we had to replace a manhole, which we've done in the past, that's typically between $15,000 and $20,000, and it is quite the project. So it's a good project to continue. This is a history slide since 2018. We have approximately 2,200 manholes in our system. If we do 50 per year, allows us for a 50-year cycle. So doing 102 kind of helps us swing the other way and gets us a little bit further ahead. Since 2018, as I show on the slide, we've done 364, which is 61 per year. Staff only received one bid, as we mentioned last week, for this program. The bid for MS2A was submitted by Mayor Specialty Services of Goddard, Kansas. Their bid is $100 per vertical foot. Last year was $101.50 per foot. The additional geopolymer, as shown there, is $190 per vertical foot. And that's used in those higher corrosion environment manholes. And like I said, it's estimated 40 of the 102 would receive that extra treatment. The total project to complete 102 manholes would cost $135,580. That's MS2A, that's geopolymer, plus the mobilization of $3,000 gets us to that dollar amount. Mayor Specialty has completed it since 2019 for every single year. 2018, we had a different company that did it, but they've been very competitive in their bids, and you've seen in your packet, I'm sure, the contractor rating sheet. They do a great job, and they have the same superintendent that works with us and has helped us many, many times on a lot of things. So for financial consideration, we budgeted $150,000 the repairs and maintenance line. Water reclamation reuse budget, I am requesting your approval to spend up to $150,000. These are your three options. Approve it for manhole rehab for Mayor Specialty, provide us alternate direction, or do nothing. And this is the action I would request, and I would stand for any of your questions.
I move to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with Mayor Specialty Services to complete the 2024 manhole rehabilitation program with a budget not to exceed $150,000 to be funded from the repairs and maintenance line item in the water reclamation and reuse budget.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Cunningham, second by Commissioner Barry. Jeff, I have a question on that new development, it's Wheatland behind the hospital. Approximately how many manholes went in there? And I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but I guess the question, I don't even know how many. Do we still build them the exact same way we've done it for?
They're typically I'm looking for the words. It's a precast.
Okay.
I think they're precast concrete, or they might be a different material, but I think they're sourced out of McPherson, Kansas.
Okay.
Is where they're sourced, but it's all precast, and when the project's going on and the engineer gives the depths, they are actually built to spec. Sometimes they have to add some additional height to them, but they're not brick. They're typically concrete or some other material.
So with them being brand new though, do you ever go, I mean, it's only been, a year or so since we've been out there, do you look at them, see how they?
Usually the standard 1-year inspection on a project, Office of Project Management goes out and checks everything from, meter can installation to the street, to the stormwater, to everything. So those are inspected.
Okay.
That kind of answers my question, because being the cockeyed optimist, after this year, we'd only have 17 more years if we can do 100 or 100 and some every year, which would get us done in 25 years, not 50 to 60 years. And if that's the case, we got 25 to 35 years of not having to do anything. So my question was going to be sort of, in that 25 years, do you go inspect it every year to see if there's things that pop up before that 50-year time span?
and as was kind of mentioned, if we continue our sewer line cleaning and CCTV project, when that inspection happens, when they get to they put the camera in one manhole, so that's kind of a visual inspection, and they notate if there's a problem, and then they drive that camera to the next one when they do their inspection, and they look up, and they notate if there's a problem in that manhole too. So that's really kind of a double check, and that's part of our sewer line cleaning program. So, but I mean, there are times that we are out. If we get a sewer call, we're going to open up a manhole and we're going to look inside to make sure that there's not a problem. But sewer line cleaning, so in essence, every 5 years, if we continue that rotation, everything's getting looked at every 5 years.
Fantastic.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Next item on the agenda, 2024 sanitary sewer cleaning and inspection. Awarded bid.
Very similar. Again, Jeff Crispin, Director of Water Resources. We began our annual program in 2013 to clean and inspect sanitary sewer mains to ensure proper operation and maintenance of our collection system. Staff received 5 bids for the 2024 program. This is 22 miles of sanitary sewer lines. Bid documents were sent to the 11 same contractors. And it also gets put on our website and released like that too, so it goes out to other people. But again, I'm seeking your authority to spend up to the budget amount of $150,000. The 2024 project is outlined in red, area south of 33rd Street between Hall and Vine down to 17th Street. This includes 117,072 linear feet of 8-inch sewer line, or 22.2 miles. This visual is included in your agenda packets. The green lines will be cleaned and inspected as part of this project. This past 3 years, I brought this visual for informational purposes. It's the order of cleaning each year. I call it the plan. We are in section 2, right in kind of in the middle. It's more of a darker green shading. Each section is 22 miles long, 5 times 22. We have about 110 miles of sanitary sewer line. In 2023, Section 1, which is red in the northwest corner of the city, was cleaned by CC Steel. They finished late November, early December 2023. This area that we're going to clean this year, if you approve it, was last cleaned in 2019 by ProPipes, so that keeps us on a 5-year rotation for all of our lines. This is a picture of a sanitary sewer jet truck and camera van in the background. This is a picture of a contractor from a prior year that's on Oak Street by Hayes Middle School. Problems that can be caused by lack of sewer cleaning include sewer backups, manhole overflows, public exposure to raw sewage, and regulatory fines. A nozzle is inserted from one manhole to another manhole, and high pressure jetting is used to remove any debris that's in that sanitary sewer line. This is an example of what that nozzle would look like. Nozzle is pushed with a jet of water, and anything is collected downstream. It is put into the sanitary sewer truck, and then when they're full, they go out to our dumping beds out at our water reclamation and reuse facility, and they dump out there. Camera inspection occurs at the same time as cleaning. One pass through a line from manhole to manhole is considered light cleaning. Additional passes from 2 to 4 passes would be medium. That's an additional cost. And then 5 or more passes is heavy cleaning, and that's also an additional cost as well. As I mentioned, video inspection is being required a part of the contract. It's included in their bid amount. This helps provide early detection of flaws and will allow for repairs to be made before a catastrophic failure occurs. It allows for the contractor and our staff to make decisions on additional cleaning methods and any repairs that may be needed immediately. You know, if they see something that's in a line that doesn't look right, they call our superintendent immediately, and he'll go out and help make decisions on what we need to do.
Is that like a drone control? Is it somebody controlling that running through the pipe, or is it just?
They sit in a, so they drop it down to the bottom, it's tethered, and they turn it on, and he's controlling it with a joystick in the back of a van, and he's watching it, and as he's watching it, he is a certified NASCO inspector, and so he rates what he sees. He stops at if he sees a crack, he turns the camera, he puts on the notation on the recording that there's a crack there. He looks at every tap. So everything is notated, and then they also give a rating on how bad something may be. And so we use those reports that are generated to make our decisions moving forward.
Is that like the Mars rover where it's up there looking around?
It's whatever you want to think it is. We'll call you out when they're in town, and you can come help run it.
I'm good.
We started we started sewer line point repairs and lining back in 2018 as a separate project. I'll be bringing one to you here in July, and that comes from these inspections. This includes dig and replace point repairs, internal patching, and lining from manhole to manhole. All these projects and repairs are due to processing of video from previous inspections. We've been very aggressive in the last 6 years with our infrastructure repairs on our collection system. So here's a few examples of what might be seen. This is a crossbore. It's basically a fiber that was found in a line. We contacted the fiber company, said, hey, your fiber's bored through our line. You need to move it, you need to fix it. So they hired it done. And then we had in-house staff inspect the repair. We've been pretty successful getting those taken care of. We see roots, root ball at a pipe joint. So where two pipes come together, there may be some separation and then roots grow in. Photo on the right is the cutting tool removing the root ball. It's coming towards the camera with the majority has already been removed. Our yearly cleaning inspection program has helped keep root issues at a minimum.
So Jeff, on that, when it cuts the roots, does it seal it so the root can't go back?
So that's where your chemical root treatment comes in, and that's part of the bid that CC Steel does provide. Usually it's around $2.50 to $3 a linear foot, and they come in and they put a chemical in the line that goes through and treats it. But if you have repeat root issues and the chemical root treatment is not necessarily doing the job, that's when you need to go in and patch it or dig it up and fix it. And a lot of times that happens at a private tap, but that's a good question.
But it's not an immediate patch or point repair
No,
patch.
I mean but it's a chemical that actually kills the roots, and so it'll stop the problem for a while, but it gets notated on the inspection report, and we watch those. And if we start seeing, hey, we're continuing to have roots in this area, it usually ends up being a good candidate for a patch or a dig and replace. But we usually can get a few years out of chemical root treatment. But if it's bad enough, and you have a line, say you have 200-foot line and you have roots 8 spots, we probably need to go in and actually reline that whole line, and that's what we typically do. Commissioner Barrett, last year you asked if we're making a difference with our program. I brought back some details this year. This is some details from, again, that red area, that northwest area from CC Steel. They finished up in the late 2023. They cut 1 protruding tap in 2023. And in 2018, ProPipe had 10 that they removed. They had 0 patches this last year, and we had 3 in 2018. Chemical root treatment, which we just talked about, we had 9,554 linear feet of root treatment. In 2018, it was 13,323, so less there. On the medium cleaning, we had 14,336 medium cleaning linear feet. In 2018, we had 18,438. And then on the heavy cleaning, we had a little over 7,000 linear feet done last year and a little over 12,000 in 2018. So looking at those things, I know we're making a difference with our programs and continuing. On the April 16th, we released the RFP on the website, sent it to those 11 companies. On May 14th, we opened bids. We had 5 proposals. The low bid for light cleaning of the 8-inch pipe and video inspection was from CC Steel. The bid was $133,462.08. CC Steel and Pipe Detectives both bid exactly $1.15 a linear foot for all 117,000 linear feet. So it was exactly the same price for light cleaning. But while there's a tie, staff is requesting to go with CC Steel due to Pipe Detectives providing no bid. They no bid for small, medium, and large patches if needed, and no bid for chemical root treatment. And we want to do some chemical root treatment, so I think it's wise to proceed with CC Steel. I will note CC Steel did our project last year. They also did sewer point repairs, and they did an excellent job. And you would see that in the contractor rating sheet that I provided as well. So on financial, it's the same. In addition to approving CC Steel to perform light cleaning for $133,462.08, we are requesting authority to spend $150,000. Doesn't give us a lot of wiggle room, but that will help with any medium or heavy cleaning that we may have. And then if need be, small, medium, or large patches, which I don't expect to have a lot there. So these are your 3 options. Approve it, provide us alternate direction, or do nothing. And this is the action I would request, and I will stand for your questions again.
I move to authorize the city manager to enter into a contract with CC Steel LLC to perform light cleaning and video inspection of 117,072 linear feet of sanitary sewer at a price of $133,462.08, with a budget authority not to exceed $150,000 to be funded from the repairs and maintenance line item in the water reclamation and reuse budget.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Berry, second by Commissioner Reuter. Any questions? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Next item on the agenda, I'll declare the public hearing open for establishment of community improvement district for Bernie's Truck and Equipment. Mr. Belzer.
Good afternoon, Colin Belzer, Deputy City Manager. And so as a continuation, we've talked about this for a couple weeks, but Bernie's Truck and Equipment has submitted an application for economic incentives. A few weeks ago, you did approve a resolution intent to issue industrial revenue bonds for a sales tax exemption, and that will be brought back before you in a few months when that project's completed. Tonight will be the CID, or Community Improvement District. So some background on the company. Bernie's has been in business for 47 years, in their current location since 1985. They sell new and used equipment for semi-trucks and autos, and they repair semi-trucks. They purchased the former sale barn property at 4945 General Hayes to construct a taller and wider building to serve larger equipment and enhance equipment display. They estimate their total investment will be about $2.6 million, and they are requesting a 2% CID, imposing it on their own operations, and then of course the IRB sales tax exemption. The current site is right across from Home Depot. This property is not in the city limits, so currently their business is not providing any taxes to the city of Hayes. Their new property, which is the former sale barn, has been annexed and platted, and they are moving forward with development. Here's the old way it used to look not too long ago. And then, of course, they've already done some preliminary prep work, site work, so making some definite improvements. Here's an idea of the site plan. You can kind of see the two lots that we highlighted, the smaller one and then the larger one. They'll have about a 12,500 square foot facility to expand their current operations, with room for growth if they need that in the future, and then a lot of room in back will be for equipment display so people can see it off the highway. So Community Improvement District was a economic tool enacted in 2009. It's to promote business activity and economic development. It can be done either through a special assessment or sales tax that a business imposes on themselves. This will be a 2% sales tax. A CID runs up to 22 years, a maximum, or until all the eligible expenses are paid. CIDs can be used to pay for vertical construction, parking lots, engineering, a whole host of costs that a business undertakes in order to expand or start up. They estimate they'll have about 2.5 million in annual taxable retail sales. With their project of 2.6 million, they think 2.2 million is eligible for reimbursable expenses from that CID. However, with the 2.5 million in annual taxable resales, it's estimated the CID will only generate $1 million over 22 years. So they will still, CID will not cover all their expenses. Here's kind of a estimated benefits and shows the summary of benefits. So it's about a 60-40 split. 60% is on them, and then the incentive shares of 40%. And we're pretty much at the last step for the CID, having our public hearing and considering the ordinance, and then it would just take effect upon publication if it's approved. The developer does anticipate the new facility to ready to be open by late 2024. So for financial consideration, I mentioned the total investment's approximately $2.6 million. With their estimated retail sales of 2.5, it'll generate a 2% CID will generate about $1 million over 22 years. This is a pay-as-you-go project. No general obligation or special obligation bonds will be issued by the city. And I also thought it was important to share the benefits economically for doing this. With their $2.5 million estimated in sales, the city would receive just under $44,000 in sales tax. And then estimated property tax benefit would be about 5,000 with current valuation. So your options are to pass the ordinance establishing the CID, which would levy the CID sales tax and approve the development agreement. You could decline to pass the ordinance or provide other direction. And this is the action requested.
We have two action items. First would be to close public hearing, but did anybody, Doug, did you want to talk during the public hearing, or no comments?
I move we close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Jacobs, second by Commissioner Cunningham. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
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 Passes 5-0.
I move approval of ordinance number 4053, establishing the Verney's Trucks and Equipment, Inc., CID, levying the CID sales tax and approving the development agreement.
Second that.
Motion by Commissioner Jacobs, second by Commissioner Reuter. Any comments?
Love it.
Yeah, I'd like to see business expand,
Yeah.
especially if it means there might be another job or two associated with it. But it's,
And on top of that, really improving that area up there really is going to look nice.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
Very progressive.
Good for a community.
Yeah, we thank Verney's very much
Yep.
for taking that on.
Wish them lots of luck. We're done. Did I call for the vote? I did
You
not
have
call
that.
for the vote. How about all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Just wanted to leave them hanging.
Yeah, just leave it in. Good luck, guys. Commissioner Berry,
yeah, what? You have a question?
it's your turn.
Full force summer, so there's going to be lots of people coming and visiting the community, so it's nice to be able to show everyone our best face, and I think it's going to be a great summer for that, and look forward to it.
I agree. It's full summer. It's hot out there. So stay hydrated. Busy weekend. Happy Father's Day to all the dads. And we have MAYB tournament in town. So
And baseball.
and baseball.
Yeah,
Yep.
bunch of
So
teams.
a lot of extra visitors to our community, which I think is great. So yeah, enjoy your weekend.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot. Stay safe and stay cool.
Thanks for joining us, by the way.
No problems. Yeah, sorry about that.
I just have one comment. We have so much going on in this community. It's so much fun. But one thing that I plan to attend, and it's going to be really hot, but I plan to attend anyway, there's going to be another Lovegrass Music down tonight in the pavilion. They'll have food trucks, etc. And hopefully they had a nice crowd, their first one, and I hope this one's bigger. I didn't really understand how many people enjoy bluegrass. And I think tonight we'll see a bigger crowd. I hope the heat doesn't keep them away. I'll be there.
Yeah, just to touch base on the teams. I think we got in the next 2 weekends about 150 teams, softball, basketball, and baseball. So that should be good for our community. So hopefully our hotels can keep up, and let's welcome them all to our community, and hopefully they'll keep coming back. And as you said, happy Father's Day to everybody, and have a good weekend. We're adjourned.